All right, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you are at the new graduate student orientation, and welcome once again. We are glad you're here. Let's move on here. This event is hosted by the Office of Graduate Education and Life, and this is our website, graduateeducation.wvu.edu. If you go on there, you will find a lot of information that will benefit your graduate studies here at WVU. Our office is located on the second floor of the Mountain Lair. The Mountain Lair is our student union, right above the Hatfield cafeteria. Hatfield is on the first floor when you walk into the Lair. We are on the second floor, room 249. And our email address is grad@mail.wvu.edu. Our phone number is listed here, as well as 304-293-7173 in case you need to call us. On behalf of the Grad Ed team, Dr. Richard Thomas, Dr. Jessica Quina, Michael and Stump, Vicky Crowder, Winda Malati, we welcome you once again to WVU and to Morgantown. When you email us, Vicky will probably be the first one to read your email and then send your request to us according to your needs. And Winda is a graduate assistant. She's a PhD student in the College of Applied Human Services. Today, we have a full 90 minutes of event presentations to you. And here's the agenda for today. Dr. Richard Thomas from our office will speak to you in a little bit. And then we'll have the library staff. We have Dr. Phillips from the Office of Research Integrity, Dr. Amy Kuhn from the Teaching and Learning Commons, Susan Hennigan from the Office of Accessibility Services, Michael and Stump from our office to tell you more about the peer mentoring program. The president and vice president of the GPSS, our graduate student organization, will meet you as well later in the hour. And then Caruth Services staff will speak to you for half an hour. And then at the end, I will have some closing remarks. This is for those who have not or did not attend the Title IX training, and if your program requires you to attend the training, please go on the diversity.wvu.edu website to sign up for future training. Some of you attended the training this morning at 11, but some of you came late. I was told to share this information with you. If you arrive late, they cannot give you full credit for attending the training. So you will have to contact Maya Huggins or Courtney Simmons of the Office of Diversity, Equity, and DEI, Equity and Inclusion, to sign up for future training. All right, so you can go on that website to see other training opportunities. And I also want to invite you, if you're on campus on Friday, I want to invite you to come to our picnic to meet our staff and also your peers. Bring your family if you have family. It's 3 to 5 p.m. on the Mountain Lair Green. It looks like it's going to be a good day on Friday. So, but if it rains, the rain location would be in the Mountain Lair Ballroom, which is on the second floor of the Mountain Lair. And finally, we have many things planned for you, many workshops, professional development opportunities planned for you. They are listed on our website and also in the weekly newsletter. You should have received our first weekly newsletter this morning, which has provided you information about events coming up or directed you to the websites. If you have not, please contact our office so that we know to include you in our weekly distribution list. I think that's all I have. For presenters, please note that for security reasons, we have muted everybody, and also the video, we will give you co-host status so that you could turn on your mic and your video. All right, so our next speaker is Dr. Thomas. Dr. Richard Thomas is the Associate Provost for Graduate Academic Affairs. Dr. Thomas led the biology department, was a professor there for many years, and he is now overseeing graduate education at WVU. Let me see, Dr. Thomas, okay, he's here. Dr. Thomas, you, okay, and
I'm unmuted, but I can't start my video.
okay, hold on. Can you now? I think, all
yes.
right. Okay, okay, good.
Thank you. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Richard Thomas, the Associate Provost for Graduate Education, and I'd like to welcome you to WVU. I know you're all super excited about starting your graduate degree, and I hope things are going well so far and will go smoothly for you over the next few days as classes get started. It's probably a little overwhelming with all the information coming at you all at once from your advisor, your department, and if you're a GA, there's even more information about the responsibilities involved with your assistantship. Obviously, as with everything, there's a learning curve, and it will take you some time to get into a groove. So don't worry right now if you're getting information overload. In a few days, you'll get into your groove. Grad school is a process, and it can sometimes be very frustrating. Don't let that throw you off track. It takes time, so be patient. When you have questions, find someone with answers, whether it's your advisor, your professors, or your friends. Our office, the Office of Grad Education and Life, can help you as well. We have a brand new webpage with a ton of information, links to resources, and explicitly how to contact us. And we will be sending you weekly emails with information about events, deadlines, announcements, professional development opportunities, mental health resources, and funding opportunities, all targeted specifically to graduate students. The most important piece of advice that I can give you is to maintain a healthy balance between your work and your life. Don't burn yourself out. It's important to work hard, but it's more important to maintain your physical and mental health. So find some time to exercise or rest or watch a movie or hang out with your friends. The balance between your work and your life is so important in sustaining your productivity and preserving your health. Finally, as I talk about stress, I expect you have heard a lot of information about academic transformation and potential program closures across the campus. So let me tell you, WVU is facing the same challenges that many colleges and universities across the U.S. are being hit with right now. Most of these challenges obviously affect our budget. So WVU is working hard to address these challenges through the strategic repositioning of the WVU system. The university is simply and unfortunately having to make some difficult decisions about what we can and cannot afford to do moving forward, which sadly means that some programs will be discontinued. And you've probably heard the result of this academic transformation process has been to recommend closure for 19 graduate programs. It's important to note that these are preliminary recommendations just released by the Provost office, and they're not final. And most of the programs will be appealing in the next couple weeks. The focus of our office, the Office for Grad Ed and Life right now, is to work with programs that face potential closure to make sure that their graduate students are treated fairly. The university is committed to allowing students in these programs to complete their program and graduate. I will say that again. The university is committed to allowing students in these programs to complete their program and graduate. The decision of closing a program is undoubtedly not an easy decision, but the ultimate goal is to align resources to support and invest in academic areas of growth and opportunity, as well as identify areas where we can have greater impact and be more effective. As President Gee has said, as we go through this transformation, WVU will adapt as a modern land-grant university that puts students first, embraces our mission, and differentiates from our peers. I actually went through a very similar thing when I was a grad student at Clemson University 40 years ago. I was a botany grad student, and a university decision was made to combine botany and zoology into a single biology department. Faculty were upset, positions were lost, and students were upset and uncertain, like many of you are now. And then I went to the botany department at Duke University as a postdoc, and the same thing happened there. Faculty were upset, and again, there was uncertainty with the students at that time. But now, looking back on it, I can say none of the things that were happening at either place had a great effect on me, on my graduate career, or on my professional career. So what we're going through currently is upsetting, and it's sad, quite frankly. But this happens. It happens a lot in academia, and it happens in the corporate world. We have to make the best out of it and move forward with what brought you to WVU, and that is to get your graduate degree. If you have questions about any of our academic policies, you can reach out to our office. Our contact information, Dr. May just showed, but it's readily available on our website. And we're holding special office hours over the next 2 weeks, Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the second floor of the Mountain Lair in room 249. So feel free to stop by. Well, sorry to end on such a somber note, but I felt like I needed to talk about this. I do welcome you to WVU and to graduate school. I think you'll find your time here to be intellectually stimulating and rewarding. Good luck with your graduate studies, work hard, and I wish you great success.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. Students, feel free to ask questions in the chat. I do see a lot of questions about Title IX training because I just announced that. Your department would let you know if it is required, but I really would strongly encourage every student to take it, okay? So I will get you an official answer by the end of this NGSO. Let me see how we're doing on time. We're doing well. I know our next set of speakers are ready, and Matt from the library and Jeff and Maryanne, you are co-hosts, so you should be able to share screen and speak. Anyone have any question for Dr. Thomas while he's still here? All right, then. All right, there is one question for Dr. Thomas. We're losing opportunity to learn languages. How is it connected to combining programs? These programs are simply discontinued, not combined with others. Dr. Thomas, are you still there?
Yeah, I think I'll just address those like in emails. If they'd send me an email, I think it'd be better than taking time from this.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. All right, we will get back to you. Camilla. Okay, we'll get back to you. All right. Matthew, we can see your screen now. Yeah.
Okay. Is it the PowerPoint or is it the dual page?
Yes. Mhm.
I'm so sorry about this. Two screens are very difficult these days. Okay. Hi, welcome everybody. On a lighter note, welcome. We're going to talk quickly about what is available to you from the library. My name is Matt Steele. I am also here with Jeff Wirth and Maryanne, two other librarians at the university. So some things we're just going to kind of introduce you to. First, we're going to go over just an introduction to the library, some research services that are available to you, opportunities for collaboration and scholarship through the library, and then learning opportunities that we also provide through the library. So as far as the library, a central hub as well as you start doing and you start engaging in research and scholarship here at the university, central hub to start thinking about going to, not think about going to, just actually going to, is the library's website. You can get there by going to library.wvu.edu or Googling WVU libraries will get you right there. Ask ChatGPT, how do I get to the WVU libraries? And I'll say, here are your options. Another thing that we put together is a graduate student guide. So this is an electronic guide of resources that are helpful for graduate students, especially ones just starting off at the university. All of the resources that you need to kind of get going on your scholarship as you start working on your dissertation, all that fun stuff. As well as electronic resources, the library is still also a physical space, a space for you guys to get together, collaborate with your peers, study for your tests. We have study rooms in each one of these libraries, which we'll talk about, but you can find the downtown library, obviously right in the downtown, but Evansdale is out on Evansdale campus, and then there's also a health science library if that is more convenient for you to go to. And you can see the hours up on the screen. You will be getting this PowerPoint afterwards, but you can go to the library's website and see the hours for each one of them. And I will go ahead and turn it off to Jeff Wirth, and he will talk about research services here.
All right, thanks, Matt. Hi, everybody. So yeah, I'm going to talk about some of the research services that we have. So if you want to go to the next slide there, Matt. So one of our big services is Ask a Librarian. Of course, you're going to be doing a whole bunch of research on your own, but you're always welcome to ask us questions. That's what we're here for. It's literally our job. You can go to the library website, and there's a big button in the top or a pop-up that comes up in the bottom right where you can ask us questions, and that is manned by actual people. We don't have AI or anything fancy like that. It's going to get directly to us with your questions. We also have a ton of subject librarians. So just like Matt is the government information librarian, I'm the science librarian. And Martin Dunlap, you see in chat there, is the engineering librarian. We have subject specialists for every degree and major here at the university. So you can ask us questions that's tailored to your studies and the resources you might want to use. And as part of that, you can schedule research consultations with us. So if you want to meet with us one-on-one, either in person or virtually, you can do that with our research consultations online, which is through the Ask Librarian service. So EBSCO Discovery Service is our catalog. It's relatively new. We just started using it last year, but it's our new layer for our catalog. It has a whole bunch of services there, and it's just the big search all bar in the middle of the library website. So you can start searching anything and everything that we have access to. And if you sign into it as well, you get a few more features, and you can save your searches and get easy citations and things like that, and just see everything on our catalog. We also have a number of databases, and they're all listed by subject field as well. So just like we have subject specialists for every degree here, all of our databases are specialized as well. So if you're looking for something very particular in your field, you could check out the databases tab or just go to databases.lib.wvu.edu and see all of the different resources that we have for your fields. And of course, we can help you with those as well too. And we still have journals too. Plenty of journals online, all of them, again, sorted by subject field. You can get very granular there too, so you can see what might be out there in your field, which is especially nice as you're starting to think about publishing in your academic careers. And finally, there's an option here, libkey.io. This is a really quick and easy way to get access to things that we might have. If you just look up the DOI or PubMed ID of an article you're looking for, libkey.io can get you to that very quickly and easily. Takes the guesswork out of trying to find it in some of our resources. And of course, we don't have everything here, but we do have Interlibrary Loan, or ILLIAD, and it's just on the library website. So you can request something from any other library in the world, and we will get it for you totally free of charge. So keep that in mind if you're looking for the very perfect thing for your research and we don't have it, we can absolutely get it for you. And of course, everything is available off campus as well. So you can access things from in the building, which is great. But if you're off campus, anytime you're trying to access any of our resources, you'll be prompted for the off-campus access. It's quick and easy, but if you have any issues with it, just contact us and that's something we can help you with as well. All right, thanks. And I'll be turning it over to Maryanne Armour-Gammon for Collaboration and Scholarship.
Hello to all of you. I'm the Patent and Trademark Librarian, and I'm located at the Downtown Campus Library. Now, I'd like to talk to you about collaboration and scholarship. And this is something that's really important to graduate students. So that we do have some specialized collections. One of the really important specialized collection, especially if you're in history, is the West Virginia Regional History Collection. This collection preserves materials from the history of West Virginia and the Appalachian region. And it also is great for genealogy research, and they're located at the Downtown Campus Library. And next, we have government information. We are a regional federal depository library, and Matt Steele actually is the librarian for government information. And we have access to a lot of databases. If you're doing different types of research on government information, you can go to Matt and ask him for help in locating this information. We also have different libraries subscriptions that can help you access government information. Another specialized collection is actually a collection of WVU papers and dissertations at the research repository. And this is an open access repository that we maintain, and it provides worldwide access to materials that WVU people have published that are open access materials. We also have services that can help you as a graduate student. First of all, we have poster printing, and when you go to that major conference that you're going to present at, you can print a poster at the libraries. We have facilities at the Downtown Campus Library, at the Evansdale Library, and also at Health Sciences to print posters, and it's a lot cheaper than going to a public printer. So really consider poster printing at the libraries. And as Matt mentioned before, we have study rooms available at the libraries, and we also have a great way to check those study rooms out from our webpage, and you can check them out and be able to use that at a certain time. And it's a great way to collaborate with other people in the study room. And then we have something called the Research Commons. So the Research Commons is a suite of services that we try to offer to graduate students and faculty members. And we provide classes and also some space. And the space I'd like to mention is our Research Commons graduate area. This is a great space for graduate students to get together and have a separate space in the libraries. And this is located at the lower level of the Downtown Campus Library. And you can collaborate together. You can just be away from the undergrads if you want to do that. So it's a lounge area. We have PCs and Macs, and we have a flexible workspace. We have 2 seminar rooms with computers and large screens, and one has video conferencing that's very easy to use. Another service that I provide is the patent and trademark searching service. You can learn how to search patents and trademarks. We are the only patent and trademark resource center in the state of West Virginia. So if you're developing a technology or you're developing a company, you might want to talk to me and make an appointment.
Thanks, Maryanne. In addition to all those services, we understand that this is early scholarship for a lot of you people, and navigating this world can be tricky. So what we do is we provide scholarly communication services. This is things like your author rights, managing your data management managing your data plans, what to expect with going to conferences and how to prepare for those. We have a librarian who is dedicated specifically to helping you out with your scholarly communication needs. His name is Jonah McAllister Erickson. His contact information is on this slide, but he's a great person to work with, especially getting you started and understanding where you are in this whole process. We talked about the research repository. It's an open source collection of articles and dissertations and sometimes even data services that are being produced by the West Virginia. So just to see what have people before you that have gone to this university created through their scholarship and their time at this university. And then finally, you will be submitting, for the most part, an electronic thesis or dissertation. We help prepare you for the submission of your dissertation. You can, if you have a question about your ETD submission, you can contact the ETD review. Jonah right now is also helping out with a lot of the ETD submissions through it. So if you get a hold of him for scholarly communication, you can work through that as well. What's new in the fall of 23? We have a brand new tool. It is called the DMP tool. If your research is requiring you to put together data management, either the funder is requesting it, the department you're working for is requesting it, a publication that you are working with is requesting it. We have this great tool that walks you through the steps to put together a data management plan. Here's how I'm collecting it. Here's how I'm storing it. Here's what I'm going to do with it. Just walks you right through all those steps. You can find it on our databases page under DMP tool, and there's also a link for it up on top. And then learning opportunities. The library offers several opportunities to help out with your scholarship and with your research needs. So how do I do particular things? The one way we offer it is free workshops. You can find this on the library's website under teaching and learning. There is a link for workshops, and you can usually find it in our check us out section, what is coming up, and under the events section under what is coming up. But there are a variety of skills that you will need to learn during research. Things like citation management, how am I storing and organizing the research that I found. Some of these scholarly communication topics that I talked about, what are your rights as an author and how do you keep some of these rights? Even things like classroom resources as you start teaching, how to use some of these information literacy skills to your own students. Here are suggestions we have, and even data services with that. Along with the free workshops, once a year, we also offer the graduate student immersion. We just finished up the fall graduate student immersion for this year. But you may look for that for next year. Students who are accepted to the graduate student immersion receive $125 stipend, along with all these great skills that they learn throughout the session. So just some resources again, if you, after the session, are looking for some more help with the library. My name's Matt Steele. I'm political science, journalism, government information, and other subjects. Kind of hard to keep track of them these days. Jeff Worth is your science librarian, and Maryanne Armour-Gemin is your patent and trademark librarian. We're happy to help out with those subjects, but if you just remember a name and you're like, I need a question about the library answer, here's their name. And as I brought up, Jonah McAllister Erickson is going to be a great resource as you start to work on your scholarship within this. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. May.
Thank you, Matt, Jeff, and Maryanne for giving us tremendously helpful information. I see in the chat that Martin Dunlap has provided his email contact too if you have questions about the engineering library. All right, and let's see, Dr. Phillips is ready. Let me take a quick look at the chat, okay, if there's any question. No, but you have the library staff's contact information, and we will also send you their PowerPoint okay, after the orientation session in the next few days. Dr. Phillips is the Director of Research Integrity. She is here to tell you more about research integrity. Dr. Phillips.
Hi, Betty, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Did I do that correctly? Okay, good, thanks. So I'm Tricia Phillips. I'm the Director of Research Integrity here at WVU. I'm also faculty in the Political Science Department. I want to start by thanking Dr. Thomas and Dr. May for inviting me to join you this afternoon. This is such a great event. And I always learn something new about the various resources on campus. And so you're lucky to have an Office of Grad Studies that's so committed to your success. I'm here today to share WVU's commitment to integrity and help you understand what that means for you. The short story is that WVU is committed to integrity in all its various forms. Be pretty silly for me to say otherwise, especially since Betty's recording this presentation. But the long story is that our commitment to integrity in all of its various forms is more than lip service. That is, we do more than simply say it's important. And we do more than simply say that you'll be punished if you violate integrity in one way. And so we're committed to helping you understand what integrity means in all of its contexts. And so I want to help you understand that WVU is committed to integrity across the academic enterprise. Which means your personal conduct, your academic conduct, and your research conduct. And while personal integrity, academic integrity, and research integrity share many of the same principles, they have different scope and contexts. Academic integrity covers your coursework. So that includes your own coursework, which would include assignments that you complete and submit, tests that you take, and your thesis or dissertation. It also includes coursework that you may be supervising as a TA. Research integrity covers any research that you're doing, not for course credit. For example, if you're working as a research assistant for your advisor or for another supervisor, or if you simply have an opportunity to publish your own work. And then personal integrity covers just about everything else. So they have different scopes and contexts. And importantly, they have different offices and reporting mechanisms and processes and procedures and support platforms here at WVU. We have an entire office that's devoted to personal conduct. That is the Office of Student Conduct. And so that is who you would go to if you have concerns about anybody else's conduct or the personal conduct of students you may encounter. Within the Office of Student Conduct, we have a sort of separate unit for academic integrity. This is who you can interface with if you're a TA and you have concerns about a student's work. It's also who you might be answering to if somebody has concerns about your work. And so here, I'll just go ahead and say that we're entering a brave new world with generative AI and particularly ChatGPT. And while there's no one position and there's no definitive statement of it's always right or it's always wrong, a lot of whether using ChatGPT is going to be appropriate and allowable depends on the context, depends on the nature of the assignment, and in particular depends on the instructions that you get from your instructor or your advisor. So I would caution you to, if you ever think that ChatGPT could help you with any of your assignments or any of your work, check with your instructor or your advisor first to make sure that it's going to be an allowable use. A lot easier to handle that on the front end than it is to handle that on the back end. So we have an office devoted to student conduct, to personal integrity. We have an office devoted to academic integrity. And then my office, which is Research Integrity Services, offers three things. We offer educational programming, Some of this is at the university level. Some of it's going to be at the college or department level. Some of it's offered by my office, and some of the research integrity programming that you get might be coming from instructors and professors in your program, perhaps even as part of a methods course that you may be taking. Note that if you work as a graduate research assistant, if you have a GRA, if you get paid a stipend to be a GRA, you might be required to complete RCR training, where RCR stands for Responsible Conduct of Research. These requirements vary depending on the funding for your position. That is, whether it's coming from general education funds, from the WVU pot of money, or whether it's coming from a federal funding agency like the NIH or the NSF. They all have slightly different requirements. So if you have a GRA, you should check with your advisor to see if you have mandatory RCR training requirements, and reach out to me if your advisor doesn't mention this to you or if your advisor doesn't know. Beyond the mandatory training, we have a number of optional educational activities, and they can be standalone on an ad hoc basis. So these are kind of a la carte. Look for those as they pop up throughout the year. Beyond educational programming, my office offers consulting services. So if you encounter an issue and you don't know whether it's a problem, you can reach out to my office and we'll help you sort it out. The issue might be with your own work. It could be with somebody else's behavior. And I can help you sort through the issue. Oftentimes they're complex and multifaceted. I can help you identify the relevant standards because sometimes they differ by discipline, even by field. And I can help you develop a plan. This is especially important because grad students don't always know where to turn if they have a question about their own research or if they want help resolving disputes. So if you have an issue with your advisor about data ownership or toxic mentoring, it's important that you know that there are a lot of us standing out here in different places in the university that are available to help you. My office can help. Your department chair or associate dean of research might be able to help. Anyone in OGLE, the Office of Grad Education and Life, can help. And we now have a new grad student ombuds who's available to help as well. If you get to the point where you have spotted a problem and you're certain that somebody has done something wrong, we also have reporting mechanisms for research misconduct at WVU. In addition to reaching out to me, we have two other formal channels, and here's the contact info for those. I'm the Director of Research Integrity. You should be able to find me with any kind of search in case you forget my name. We also have a Research Integrity Officer, and an 800 reporting line that you can call at any time that goes directly to our Office of Internal Audit. That's all I've got.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Phillips. Our next presenter is Dr. Amy Coons. Dr. Coon is the Director of Teaching Support and Advancement from the Office of Teaching, Learnings, and Commons. Let me see.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Betty. Hi, everyone. Welcome. If you are new to WVU, welcome. If you are coming back to WVU, returning from your undergrad and now transitioning to a graduate program, then welcome back. Oh, I have a question for you. So I'm going to post it here in the chat. Will you be teaching at WVU? So if you're familiar with the chat reactions, if you can give it a thumbs up or a smiley face or something, if anybody's going to be teaching. Nobody? Yes? A few? Okay, they're coming in. All right. Okay, so our office is focused on everyone who teaches at WVU. So that's faculty, that's part-time instructors, including graduate students who help teach. And everything we offer is free. So all of our support, our programs, our services, everything is free to you. And so I'm going to go ahead and share the screen and point out just a few things that we have. Okay, can we see the website for the Teaching and
Yes.
Learning Commons? Yes, okay. So one thing that you can keep your eye on if you're going to be teaching is our events and workshops. So we have a whole list here. Don't have time to go through them all, but one thing that might be of interest is the event and workshop calendar. Right now, you'll see there are a lot of sessions on eCampus. If you've never had the chance to use that before, you're going to be teaching, those will be really helpful to you because that is where you store everything for your class. That's where your students will submit their assignments. That's where you give them feedback in their grades. Another couple of sessions coming up are iClicker. It's really useful in classes to get students engaged and participating. So I just want to point those out to you really quickly. And I'm going to bounce back here. And I have another question for you that I'm going to pop into. I'll just say it, and then if you can just react in the chat. My question is, are any of you thinking about teaching when you graduate, like as part of your career? Okay, I see a few. Good. All right, several of you, possibly. Okay. Pondering. Okay. This next thing that I want to point out to you is something that I think WVU has that not a lot of other universities have. Can you see, is the chat in the way? Let me get the chat out of the way. Okay, so it's talking about the certificate in university teaching. We've done some research on this, and what we found is we are one of very few universities who offers this type of certificate. It's rigorous, it requires you to teach, and you come out of it with skills that seem to be more than just a novice teacher. A lot of universities offer something like this, but all that they ask you to do is take a class or a few workshops and get this certificate. We ask you to take 15 credit hours in addition to your master's or your doctorate, and also to have teaching experience, and we work with you. Now that sounds like a lot, and I don't want to scare you because potentially we can count up to 6 credit hours from something you've taken in the past that's related to education, and it could count towards this certificate. Now, there's a lot of detail about this. The best thing to do is, if you are interested in this, to get a hold of us. I'll show you how to do that. One thing that I do want to point out is we know that this certificate is effective. We've been reaching out to the graduates of it. And over the past 7 years, what we've discovered is, number one, it's helping them to get interviews because people are saying, well, tell me about this. What did you learn? And then the other thing is, when they get their job, if it does involve teaching, that they're getting comments from their chairs. I can't believe you're pretty new to teaching. You're teaching better than some of our people who have been here for a while. I'm just really impressed by what you've learned and how you teach effectively. So those are 2 things that I just wanted to point out. I know that you're getting a lot of information today. Oh, I want to share my screen one more time because I wanted to point out to you, if you have any questions at all and you're like, well, I just want to talk to somebody about my teaching, or what else do you offer for me? This button right here, it says request TLC assistance. Just pop that in there, reach out to me, and we will get back to you. I can answer your questions, help you point you in right directions. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kuhn. And our next presenter is Susan Hennigan. She's the Assistant Director of Accessibility Accommodations from the Office of Accessibility Services.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you all this afternoon. I know that you've got a very packed schedule, so I just wanted to share a little bit of information today. I've been in touch with Betty, and we have a 30-minute session scheduled for next week. So I just wanted to show you just our main Office of Accessibility Services webpage here. Basically over the next, weeks, days, months of this semester, our team of accessibility specialists sends out accommodation notification letters to each instructor across campus. So essentially, we assist all of our students that have academic accommodations. We also assist with housing and transportation, but certainly the notifications that you're going to receive are going to be related to the students' academic accommodations. So I just wanted to orient you a little bit to our website. You will receive notifications that a student in your class has been authorized and you've received an accommodation letter through your mix email. So I do want to tell you that. And then when a student comes in to meet with you, we recommend that they go in and speak with instructors during scheduled office hours, just for confidentiality purposes. And then when a student is sitting with you and you're discussing accommodations, if you're on the Accessibility Services webpage, you're actually going to come right over here to SAM, S-A-M-M, which is our portal. And essentially here you would be able to log in into the faculty section. So as long as you're connected to a course, you're going to just be able to log right in there, see the classes that you're teaching, and your accommodation letters are going to be listed there for you. So just a couple things until we meet again. I just want to make sure that you know it is not your responsibility to reach out to students regarding their accommodations. They are responsible to meet with you and to discuss how each individual accommodation is going to be implemented in your class. Accommodations have to be reasonable, which means that they cannot alter any technical standard of what you're teaching in your course. So in the conversations with the students, there is going to be an area where you can put notes when you're meeting with the student. So if there's something in the course that an accommodation would alter a technical standard, if you have any questions at all about that, please feel free to reach out to our office. Each accessibility specialist, we all have our contact information that's attached to each of our accommodation letters. So if you have questions with those, we're happy to talk about the specific student or the specific accommodation that is of concern. And that way we can make sure to try to help you navigate through that process. So essentially the accommodations are just to ensure equal access. And, we serve students across our Morgantown campus, our campus in Kaiser, as well as our campus in Beckley. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you in advance of next week. And then I have one more thing that I would like to share as well while I've got you here. And this is just a very brief video that we share with faculty that kind of go through some of the information that I just shared with you just now.
Welcome to West Virginia University. It is part of WVU's mission to ensure all students have equal access to quality higher education. The Office of Accessibility Services is dedicated to enhancing education opportunities for students with temporary or permanent disabilities on all WVU campuses. Accessibility specialists are trained to ensure that accommodations are reasonable and effective, and that students have equal access to university programs. Specialists work individually with students, faculty, and staff to assist in the implementation of accommodations that lead to academic and personal achievement. As a faculty member, you are an integral part of this accommodation process. Students meet with an accessibility specialist to provide specific documentation, which helps determine appropriate and individualized accommodations. An accommodation is an adjustment, which may be physical or academic, made within the university system to provide equal access to students with disabilities. Once accommodations are approved, you will receive an official letter from the Office of Accessibility Services through your Mix email account. If you do not use your Mix account, the letter will still be available in your faculty portal. Some examples of accommodations could include extra time on tests, real-time transcribing, or note-taking assistance. It is the responsibility of the student to set up a meeting to discuss implementation if there are accommodations in your class. Accommodation letter should be signed to indicate a plan for implementation has been discussed and finalized. Instructors have 7 days to implement the accommodations discussed, starting on the day the student initiates contact. Accommodations can be requested at any time throughout the academic semester. If you ever have questions or concerns regarding accommodations, please don't hesitate to reach out to our office for assistance.
All right. So that's the information that I just wanted to kind of go over briefly with everyone today. But certainly if you have
The idea of having one stream of
if you receive or do receive letters in the coming days, feel free to please reach out to our office at any time so we can answer any questions that you have. We certainly want to support you as you're starting the process working with some of our students, and just want to make sure that you know that we're here as a resource to answer any questions that you have. So thank you, Betty, for inviting me to speak with you all this afternoon. I really appreciate it, and I hope everybody has a wonderful fall semester.
Thank you, Susan. Our GA Winda has included the link in the chat for those of you who would like to know more about services that are provided by Susan's office. The workshop is next Monday, August 21st from 2 to 2:30, but you need to register so that we can send you the Zoom information. The link, you can find that in the chat. Okay, our next presenter is Maryanne Stump, who is the program director for graduate academic affairs from our office. Maryanne, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. May. As she said, my name is Maryanne. I work in the Office of Graduate Education and Life with her. I'm going to share my screen. I just have a few slides to share with you today. So I want to talk to you about our graduate peer mentorship program. It is a relatively new program. We started a pilot program in the spring last year, and we got a lot of positive feedback on that. So we are excited to continue that this year. I want to start by talking about why peer mentoring is important. We know from research that it promotes academic success and helps graduate students persist in graduate school, which is the mission of our office. It provides an opportunity to build mentoring and leadership skills that you can use in your future. It helps you expand your professional networks for both mentors and mentees. And it adds an important layer of support for graduate students. We like to note when we talk about peer mentoring that this is intended to be an extra resource that supplements your graduate school experience. It's not supposed to replace faculty mentoring relationships. Your mentors are not your academic advisors or mental health counselors. We do have options for those if you are interested. So to be eligible to be a mentee in this program, you should be incoming graduate students, which hopefully you all are. Which means you should be in your first year as a master's student or your first or second year in your PhD studies. And I'll note if you are a PhD student, you will be paired with a PhD student. And if you are a master's student, you could be paired with a master's student or a PhD student. So in looking at an overview of the program, graduate students will be paired with graduate mentors who are graduate students who are advanced in their studies. So that means fourth or fifth year for PhD students or second year master's students. We'll kick off the program in September officially, and it will continue through the end of the academic year in May. We ask that mentors and mentees meet with each other at least 4 times a semester. That can be online or in person. In the spring, people met both ways. We will have a number of workshops and discussions available for mentors and mentees that we hope you will participate in. And we hope that you are excited about this program if you participate in it, and that you will become mentors as you advance in your own graduate studies. So sign up by August 31st. You can use the QR code there on the screen. The sign up link is also on our website there at the bottom. And you can email me with any questions that you have. So that's all I have for that.
Thank you very much. It is an exciting program. So students, please make use of this opportunity to get to know your peers through the peer mentoring program and also learn along the way. So let's see how we're doing on time. We're good on time. Our next speakers will be your GPSS president and vice president, Farzana. Do you need to share screen? Prasanna, are you here? Let me see if she's here.
She put yes in the chat.
Oh, okay, all right, all right. Okay. You should be able to.
Hi, I would like to share my screen if that's possible.
Yep, you should be able to.
Yeah. All right. Hello, everyone. I am Farzana Islam. So I am a graduate student at Statler College, and currently I'm doing my master's in industrial engineering. I also have the honor of serving as the president of the Graduate and Professional Students Senate, and I welcome you all aboard. So we have our Vice President Sneha with me here today as well, and she will be speaking to you shortly. And you might be wondering what GPS's, the Graduate and Professional Students Senate, is about. So this is the student organization that caters to the unique interests and concerns of the graduate students. And our purpose rests on the three fundamental pillars, which is the empowerment, networking, and inclusivity. And to ensure the empowerment of the grad community, we collect the concerns and issues of the grad students and highlight them to the university administration to find a resolutions. And as you know, that WVU has almost 13 schools and colleges, and it's only natural that all the students are segmented by their respective colleges. And GPSs aim to bridge this gap and bring all of us together to amplify our voice. And whether we are addressing the concerns or sharing our happiness, our purpose is to foster unity, and we aspire to build a community where every perspective is celebrated. And to fulfill all these purposes, we maintain strong collaboration with with administrative departments and different student organizations to advocate for our concerns and bring our issues to the table of decision makings. And we also organize different kind of seminars and workshops and social events to foster unity. However, among all these endeavors, we realize that the most crucial aspect of this organization is your voice. And we believe that your feedback and concern holds a great impact. And as we act upon them to drive progress, that is why I invite you all to join GPSs to make a significant impact on our grad community. So our vice president will take you through how to get involved with us, and she will also take you through the social media handles where you can get the updates. And thank you, everyone. Over to you, Sneha.
Thank you, Zana. Hi, everyone. My name is Neha Hardas. I'm the Vice President at PSS. I'm also a first-year PhD student at Davis College, and I'm studying Downville College in Pacific Ecosystems, West Virginia. I believe that graduate students are the backbone of conducting an institute, and I'm really excited to work along with all of you from DPS's goals, objectives that Farzana mentioned. PSS members are the most important for us in order to ensure that we have a good graduates at WVU, which the members participate in making sense of these, ensure that they take part in considering all our ways and events. So to sign for DPS or to do like on the web WHR.
We seem to have a hard time listening to you because the audio is cutting in and out. Is there any way you can maybe come a little closer? I don't know how you can improve your audio.
Oh, okay. Prasanna, do you want to hear my part?
Yeah, of course. What we find most challenging is that the participation of all of our students, and this is why we are sharing the sign up links and all the contact information, because as you are seeing that we are going through a very difficult time, and we need all of your participation and perspective as well to address all the concerns better. So you can find all the sign up links here. I will also post this information in the chat box, and you can reach us in using these emails or the social media anytime. And we will try our best to address every concern. So that's all from our end, and we are looking forward to meet you all in person, hopefully in the grad student picnic and in the future in all our general meetings as well. Thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you so much for being here. Students, GPSS officers will be at the picnic, and they have also prepared a nice button for you. Okay, if you come, you can share those. We would love to share those with you. All right. And so please follow them on social media as well. They would love to have your participation in future events. So moving on to our next presentation. Let me get back here. Our staff from the Cruise Services, Sarah and Haley, are here, and they will spend the next 30 minutes with you, telling you or sharing with you services that they provide. And so please take the time. Yeah, I see Sarah. Yeah, I see Sarah there. I don't see Haley yet, but I know she's here. All right, Sarah, take it away.
Yes, hi everybody. It is a pleasure to be here, and I personally cannot see Haley. So if Haley, oh, there she is.
I see her now.
Yeah, great. Well, super great to be here. Haley and I are just going to take a few minutes to share with you a little bit about Caruth, how it can be helpful for you, and how it can be helpful for students that you may be interacting with. So if it's all right with everybody, I'm going to pop up just a couple of slides on the screen as we kind of have this conversation. And I totally understand that there are probably a great number of you who are super familiar with Caruth. That's great. If you have anything to add as we talk, definitely feel free to unmute yourself and add. But for those of you who are not familiar, hopefully this is helpful for you as we move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen. All right. And then let me, this always takes a few seconds. I just want to make sure you all are seeing the correct screen. So if you are seeing the notes section, definitely somebody let me know if I need to swap those screens. Does this look correct?
Yes.
Lovely. Okay, then I will go ahead and just hop into conversation. So I'm going to start just by talking to you a little bit about what Caruth does. So if you are not familiar with the Caruth Center, we are the mental health center on campus. This means students can access mental health services, whether that is, individual therapy, group therapy, just any mental health need outside of like psychiatry. Obviously, we don't provide that. But you can access that at the Caruth Center. And first things first, I want to make sure everybody knows where we're located. So we are in the health education building. Actually, that's actually called the Student Health Building now. That name changed. So we're in the Student Health Building, which is right next door to the rec center. So we're on the second floor of that building, and we occupy the whole second floor. So if you make it up there, you've made it to the right place. And something kind of newer for folks who are visiting the Caruth Center now, we have this wonderful blue kind of wall painting thing on on the wall that really clearly indicates where you're supposed to check in. So anytime anybody's ever coming for a visit, we encourage folks to kind of look for that blue painting on the wall so they know exactly where to come and check in. So being able to access Caruth services, students can do multiple things to get an appointment scheduled. Obviously, calling the phone number is a good way to access an appointment. Or if you're not super comfy to call on the phone, you can schedule your initial appointment online. And it's really, really simple to kind of do that. If you just visit the Caruth website, you see that there on the screen, caruth.wvu.edu. There's a button that says make an appointment, and that is absolutely going to be the easiest way to schedule that initial triage appointment. So you can call or you can schedule online. Now, just to give you an idea of what to expect through services at Caruth, services are a little bit different than maybe you would access in the community. So at Caruth, we provide short-term services for students. That just means a lot of times what we do here is very solution-focused and condensed to be much shorter than maybe what you find in the community. This just allows us to provide services to all students at WVU. But for those students who might come into the center needing services that would last a little longer than we can provide, our clinicians are super prepared to be able to access which services in the community would be best for those students. So ultimately, when a student comes in for that first appointment, that triage appointment, they're going to have an opportunity to sit down with a provider and come up with a personalized care plan. And this will really allow the student coming in to have a clear idea of what really best fits their needs. So sometimes students would be coming in for a short-term episode of care here at the center. Sometimes students would be referred to like a group or a workshop. And then other times students would be working with a clinician to get paired with a provider in the community to access longer-term care. So ultimately, once you get through to that initial triage appointment, you and that clinician will work together to figure out what works best for you moving forward. So specifically at the Caruth Center in that short-term care model, we do provide individual therapy to students, so one-on-one therapy sessions. Students could also be working with a clinician, like I said, to get paired with a community provider. So in that case, they would be coming in for consultation meetings or care management meetings. We also provide a very robust group counseling. We have a very big group counseling program this semester. I think there's about 3 different groups each day of the week, which is a really good option for students who maybe prefer doing some mental health work in a group setting. And then also, I'll show you a little bit later the list of workshops that we have offered this semester so far, which I think is a really good way to touch base with other mountaineers, build community while actually taking care of yourself and your well-being. I also want to take a second and kind of talk about some programs that we offer maybe outside of the center that a lot of folks don't necessarily know about. So Let's Chat is available to all students at WVU. And this is a really good opportunity for students who might not necessarily want to come into the center and start treatment. Let's Chat is a chance to just touch base with a clinician on a quick basis, just to have a conversation. And you know, this isn't necessarily a substitute for therapy, just an opportunity to kind of have a quick meeting with somebody. And our Let's Chat, that schedule is up on the website, so please make sure you check that out if you're interested in touching base with a clinician quickly. Some pretty common concerns that we see at Let's Chat is like relationship concerns, or feeling lonely, or feeling homesick, something that you just want to really touch base with a clinician quickly about and have a discussion. That's a really good option. Students also don't necessarily know that Talkspace is available to them at no charge. So any WVU student has access to 2 free virtual therapy appointments through Talkspace for the duration of their time as a student here at WVU. It's a really good option for students who have busy schedules because you can schedule on your own time. And students also have unlimited access to texting or messaging with their clinician through Talkspace. So if you are interested in connecting with mental health services through Talkspace, the landing page is right here on the screen, talkspace.com/WVU. It's super simple to get enrolled. You just have to sign up using your Mix email account. Let's see, I think I have covered everything on this slide. I'm going to turn it over to Haley to talk a little bit about our emergency services. And Haley, before you get started, if you could possibly introduce yourself and let them know who you are, that would be fantastic.
Everyone, I'm Haley. I am one of the counselors here at the Career Center. I'm also the graduate student services specialist, which means I work pretty closely with the Office of Graduate Education and Life to make sure that all of you are doing okay and cover all the bases on your mental health needs. So Sarah did a great job of explaining our services that we offer here at the center. But what happens if you're concerned about the safety of somebody else? We're going to talk about that and what constitutes as an emergency. So if you're concerned about your safety or safety of somebody else, if you're concerned about harming yourself or harming someone else, or if you believe you're losing touch with reality, the first thing we would want you to do is, if it's Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5, during business hours, you can come in and you can speak to a counselor. Just walk in, go to the front desk. Sarah explained there's the big blue, beautiful welcome sign. Walk in, tell them that you need to speak to a counselor, and you will see one within 5 to 10 minutes. So it's a same day in-person visit. If it's after hours, so after 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, or on the weekends, you would still call the same number. You call the Career Center, 293-4431, and you will be connected to somebody who could speak with you. You'll be connected to a counselor. Somebody answers the phone at 293-4431 24/7. You will always be able to speak to somebody at that number. The Career Center, if whoever's in crisis, you can call this number for yourself or someone else. If the person who is in crisis is living in on-campus housing, a counselor will come out and speak with them if that's necessary. Anytime you're experiencing any kind of emergency, the emergency room is at the hospital at Rubin Memorial, 1 Med Center Drive. If you don't know where that is, football stadium, parking lot, hospital. It's kind of all right there together. And then if you are any kind of life-threatening emergency, always call 911. If somebody's not breathing, if they're unresponsive, if anything like that, please call 911. And they will be taken to the hospital. And if they need mental health services, they'll see a counselor there, and then they'll be connected with a counselor in the community.
Yeah, thank you. I wanna kind of pause there, Haley, and just kind of open it up for questions, because we just kind of gave everybody a lot of important information. So if anybody has any questions, we're going to just kind of pause. If you want to plop them in the chat, or if you feel comfy kind of unmuting yourself and asking the question, we'd be happy to answer questions that maybe you have.
Yes, students should be able to unmute themselves.
Yes, okay, that's okay. I don't know if I have a question specifically regarding online students. And this is a really good question that kind of came through because most folks don't necessarily know this. But online students have access to counseling services through Talkspace. So students who are solely online, they would be able to access counseling services directly through Talkspace. Yes, and I just got another question, and this is a really incredible question as well. So just kind of describing that initial appointment that you have with somebody, you would be paired with a clinician at random for that initial appointment. Now, when you come for that initial appointment and it's determined in your personalized care plan that you would be coming to see someone at Caruth, that person has the ability to say, hey, I have some preferences regarding who I see here. So after that initial appointment, you would be able to share your preferences in regards to the clinician that you prefer to see. And then if we're able to accommodate that, we would absolutely make sure we did the best we could to get you the clinician that you felt most comfortable with. Yeah. I really appreciate all these questions. So if anybody has any additional questions, I want to make sure you have a way to reach out to Caruth. Probably the best way at this point for folks to get their questions answered would honestly be just to give us a call at that phone number that's on the screen, the 304-293-4431. Or you could always email Haley. Haley's a really good point of contact for all the graduate students. So if you have questions or you need something, definitely communicate directly with the Caruth Center, or if you feel like you can email Haley, you're more than welcome to do that. I also want to, I'm going to stop sharing this really quickly because I want to share something else. I can figure that out. Here we go. All right. Figured it out, I think. All right. This is just a list of our workshops. I wanted to let everybody know about the workshops that we have available to students. This is a really good option for students who might be looking to meet other students or just kind of build a sense of community while taking care of their well-being. So specifically for grad students, we have a grad school survival, and that will be the dates are on our website, but you are all welcome to kind of hop into some of these workshops if this is something that you feel would be helpful for you. I am going to scroll down though. We have a fancy QR code here on the screen. So if you do have your phone out, please feel free to go ahead and scan that code. That will take you to the website to get a few more details on workshops if you are interested. All right. So I think that's everything Haley and I have for you all. Like I said, if there are other questions, definitely reach out. We will be available to answer questions as they come up for you all. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Haley. Students, you have the information. So if you need their services throughout the semester or throughout the year, please feel free to contact them or us if you need us to make the connection. All right. Thank you for staying with us. We know it's a lot of information. I am going to share back my screen here. Let's see. Yeah. With this invitation again. Friday, please come out if you're in town. Friday 3 to 5 on the layer green. Come out and meet us and meet other graduate students. It's going to be a good time. I just looked at the weather forecast and it's in the upper 70s, so it's perfect weather for a picnic. Does anyone have any question at this point? Actually, I should share our contact information again. Feel free to email us with any question. Here is the information again. Oops, that's not what I want. Let me close and go back to here. All right, that's where what I want to end with. And this is our contact information. Feel free to contact us. We wish you a productive, a healthy, and a happy academic year. This ends our Zoom orientation for today.